mentioned before, today we're going to study present perfect and present perfect continuous. So this is going to be a short video when I'm going to explain you and show you some slides in order to know how does it work, okay? Additionally, we're going to have a meeting at Zoom. So on the platform is the link. So let's start it, okay? Um, okay, so as we saw yesterday, we need a lot of participle verbs in order to make present perfect simple tenses, okay? So present perfect continuous is much easier than present perfect because it's always going to have only one participle verb, which is going to be the verb to be. But first of all, we're going to make a short review about the present perfect, okay? So the aim for this is to use present perfect continuous to talk about anecdotes. So here we have a short list of irregular verbs, so you have the opportunity to study this a lot. I give you many tools in order to do that, okay? So let's start with the form. So we have the affirmative form, which is the subject I, you, we, they, he, she, or it, plus the auxiliary have, in case of these subjects, or has if it's the third person singular. So he, she, and it is going to use has, plus the verb in participle, in this case, work, written. Okay, so I have work, you have work, we have written, he has worked, she has written. Okay, so that's not difficult at all. And we have the interrogative form, which is have I, you, we, they work, or has he, has she, has it work. Okay, so that's pretty easy. And the negative form, which is going to be have not, or has not, or the contraction, where it will be haven't or hasn't, as in this case. So I haven't worked, or he or she hasn't worked. Okay, so the uses. So those uses are for actions that happened in the past, but those have results nowadays, okay? Or actions that I do or actions that I haven't done. For example, John cars is dirty. He washes the car. So what does it mean? He has washed the car. Él ya ha lavado el carro. You see, the action happened in the past, but it has like a repercussion nowadays. Nah? We have here another sample. So he has just had lunch. Uh, Actions that started in the past and hasn't finished it, okay? So it started in 2000. Let's guess that this year is 2015. So he had lived here for 15 years, okay? So he hasn't gone. He is still being here. The action hasn't finished. Uh, Life experiences, which is the main topic that we're going to work here. So for example, he has flown a plane, but he has never tried bungee jumping. No. Have you ever traveled by plane? Yes, I have traveled by plane. So that is an anecdote. That is a life experience that I have. On our meeting, we are going to work on life experiences for it. Okay. So let's continue. Actions that happened on a specified time, so we don't know when that happened. So for example, the children have did it the room. Okay, so I don't know when they did it, but they did it. So it obviously was in the past, so now has a consequence. So the children have tied the room. uh, there are some time expressions. I guess that you remember which are time expressions. So every single moment that we see one of these words means that probably the sentence is in present perfect, such as ever, which is for questions, never, which is for negative form, just, which are actions that happened recently, already, which goes after the auxiliary, which means like now, already happened, ya, yet, which is for actions that you haven't done, for, is to specify the time, so for 5 years, for 2 years, for 1 month, since when did the action start in the past, so since 2000, since I was a kid, since whatever, how long, which is for making questions, so far, so by the moment I have done these things, lately, recently, which is similar to the expression that I mentioned before, and always, which is an action that I have done all my life. Um, okay, so we have some samples with already yet. I have already got dressed. I haven't done my homework yet. You see? So already means that she did it, yet is that she hasn't done. Uh, has Sarah called yet? Mary has gone to London. I miss her so much. So Mary has gone means that she already gone there. Okay, she is there in this moment. And with been means that the person stayed there, but actually in this moment isn't not there. Okay, so that's the difference between been and gone. Um, okay, so I have short samples of it. Okay, so they have drawn. So the auxiliary have plus the um, participle verb. No, it has walked. Why has? Because the subject is it. Sorry. Um, he, obviously, we are going to use has, but spoke is not the past participle. The past participle is has spoken. So in this case, it will be great. The fish is a thing, so it means that it's going to be has. And the past participle of jump is jump. So the fish has jumped. You see? Here do we have more samples. This PowerPoint presentation is already there and in the platform, so you can check it and do more exercises. Okay, so present perfect continuous. It is very similar, but it's going to use this form. I have been, or you have been, he has been, she has been, it has been, we have been, they have been, plus the verb in ing. For example, I have been teaching English by Zoom. When did the action start? When it started quarantine. And the action is still being continuous because I have been teaching you by this platform now. So we have to study the situation. So it's raining? No, but the ground is wet. Oh my gosh, it has been raining, you see? So we're going to use here the subject, the auxiliary has, been, which is the past participle of verb to be, plus the verb with the ing. Okay? Okay, when do we use it? We use present for continuous for an activity that has recently stopped or just stopped, okay? For example, you're out of breath, you have been running, okay? So he stopped running, but he was doing that action, okay? So the action just have stopped. Study the situation, it began raining 2 hours ago, and it is still raining, you see? So what can I ask? How long has been raining? It has been raining for 2 hours. The action started before and is still happening now in a continuous form. Okay, so the time expressions that I mentioned before are useful also for present continuous. So do we have here, for example, whole day, week, year, so for, since, and John. So for a week, for a whole day, for whatever. Okay, so it's not normally used with the words ever and never in this case. Have you ever flown in an helicopter before? So that's okay, but have you ever been flying an helicopter before? It's going to be very weird, no? So don't use it with ever and never, okay? And do we have here like the difference? For example, how long, how much, and how many? I have been reading this book for 5 hours. You see, in this case, we're using present perfect continuous. I have read 130 pages. That is present perfect, okay? So how long? Use present continuous, and how many it's going to use present perfect. Okay, so she has been reading a book. She has read a book. Put your shoes on. The grass is wet. It has been raining. What's been going on there? The children have been cooking. Okay, so we have here more samples. When we cannot use present continuous, it have been breaking my leg. My gosh, you broke your leg. You just how broken, no? So it is not a continuous action because the action happens in just 1 second. I have been knowing them for ages now. You know that person only once, no? I have been living here for many years. It's possible, and I live here for many years. It's also possible, okay? So check the circumstances. So this is about being obvious, no? And that's it. So thank you so much for watching the video. Any doubt, please remember that you can write to me, and we will see at Zoom in our meeting in order to clarify ideas and to work on the students book, okay? So bye bye, guys.